You are 31 years old. You work as a senior event coordinator. You drive a used Honda and meal prep on Sundays. Nothing about your life suggested this was coming. It started at the Hartwell Foundation Gala. Your company ran the event. You were there to manage, not to be noticed. You had a headset on. You were holding a clipboard. You were not available for this. The first one noticed you anyway. Callum Reid. Scottish. 40. Built his fortune in renewable energy. He stopped mid-conversation with a senator to watch you redirect the entire catering team in under 2 minutes. You didn't see him looking. He found you later. He introduced himself without his title. Just Callum, held out his hand. You shook it while scanning your clipboard. He said that was impressive. You said, "Thank you, what do you need?" He laughed. He said he needed your number. You gave it to him, because his laugh was completely unguarded. The second one was already a legend before you met him. Solomon Ademi, Nigerian-British, 44, finance. His face had been on 3 magazine covers that year. He sat at table 7. You moved his centerpiece because it was blocking the camera line. He watched your hands the entire time you adjusted it. Solomon sent a note to your team's table at the end of the night. It was addressed to you specifically. It said, "The event was perfect. So was the person who ran it. I'd like to meet you properly." Your colleague read it over your shoulder and dropped her fork. The third was not at the gala. He found you because of it. Xavier Huang, Tech and Media, 38. He saw a photo of the event online where you appeared in the background mid-instruction, completely focused, completely in your element. He had someone find out who you were. He emailed your company the next morning. Emma called you after you told her. You had to hold the phone away from your ear. You gave her 60 seconds. Then you said, "Are you done?" She said no. You gave her 30 more. That felt fair. Sarah came over with printed articles about each man. She spread them on your kitchen table like evidence. "Before you feel anything," she said, "know who you are feeling it about." You looked at her. That was actually good advice. You sat down. You met Callum for coffee first. He was exactly as unguarded in daylight as he had been in the ballroom. He talked about his work like he genuinely loved it. He asked about yours the same way. He ordered a regular coffee and left a generous tip, and didn't make either thing a performance. Solomon arranged dinner, not a restaurant you needed to dress for, but one you wanted to. He was already there when you arrived, standing, not sitting. He said, "I didn't want you to walk in and have to find me." That was a small thing that told you something large. Solomon listened the way few people do, not waiting for his turn, actually listening. He asked a follow-up question to something you had said 20 minutes earlier. You noticed. You filed it. You thought about it, on the way home, more than you thought about the food. Xavier contacted you through email first. Professional. Clear. He said he had seen you work and wanted to understand how you thought, not dinner. A conversation. He suggested a bookshop cafe on a Tuesday afternoon. Unusual choice. You said yes, because unusual choice meant something. Xavier arrived early, had already ordered tea for himself and left a menu for you. He had a book with him, a real one with a worn spine. He didn't put it away immediately. He finished his paragraph first. You respected that more than if he had leaped to attention. By the 3rd week, all 3 had asked to see you again. You had said yes to all 3 because you were not ready to say no to any of them, and you were allowed to take your time. Emma fully supported this. Sarah made a spreadsheet. You threw the spreadsheet away. Sarah made another one. Callum took you to a community garden he had funded quietly years before. Not to show you, because he went there on Saturdays. He knew the names of the volunteers. They knew his. Nobody took photos. That was the version of him that mattered. Solomon called you one evening just to talk. Not to plan, just to talk. He said he had been thinking about something you had said at dinner about the difference between ambition and urgency. He wanted to continue the conversation. You sat on your kitchen floor for an hour. You did not notice the floor. Xavier took you to an early morning museum visit before it opened. He knew the director. The galleries were empty and lit and entirely yours for an hour. He did not tell you what to think about anything. He just walked beside you and asked what you saw. You have never felt so looked at and so free at the same time. You told Emma everything after week 3. She sat across from you with both hands flat on the table like she was steadying herself. Then she said, "Maya, this is a movie. You are in a movie." You said, "I know." She said, "Which one do you like?" You said, "That's the problem." The problem was real. You liked all 3 for completely different reasons that felt equally important. With Callum, you felt seen in your work. With Solomon, you felt understood in your mind. With Xavier, you felt free in your own curiosity. Each one was touching a different part of you. All 3 parts were real. Sarah asked the question she always asked. Who are you when you are with each of them? Not who are they, who are you? With Callum, you were capable and warm. With Solomon, you were sharp and expansive. With Xavier, you were quiet and entirely yourself. The last one stopped you mid-sentence. Entirely yourself. You turned that over for 3 days. When had you last been entirely yourself with someone new? When had you not been performing some version of competence or warmth or interest? With Xavier, you had stood in a gallery and said, "I don't understand this painting and I don't think I'm supposed to." And he had said perfect and meant it. Callum told you he was falling for you on a walk through the park. Not dramatically. He said it the way he said most things, directly and without armor. "I want to be honest. I'm falling for you and I'm not someone who says things I don't mean." You kept walking. You said, "I know." He nodded. He let it sit. Solomon sent you a book with a note inside the cover. The note quoted something you had said 3 weeks earlier. He had written it down. He had remembered it exactly. You sat with the book in your hands for a long time thinking about what it means when someone writes down what you say. Xavier didn't say anything grand. He just started making space. He cleared a Tuesday every week without announcing it. He was simply available on Tuesdays, and he didn't explain it, and you noticed, and you didn't say anything either. The silence between you was never empty. It was always full of something you were both deciding. The proposals came within 10 days of each other. Callum first, earnest and direct and in the community garden on a Saturday. Solomon second. Over dinner, a letter he had written actually on paper, read aloud, 3 pages, the most considered thing anyone had ever said to you. Xavier third. He simply asked, quietly, early morning, in the bookshop cafe where you had first met. He said, "I think you already know, I just wanted to ask properly." Emma screamed all 3 times. You called her after each one. She was consistent. You appreciated the consistency. Sarah updated her spreadsheet. You still threw it away. She made a 3rd one. You kept that one, not because of the data. Because of something Sarah had written at the bottom in small letters. She had written, "Which one makes the future feel like something you want to arrive at?" You thought about your future with Callum. Saturday gardens. Work you respected. A man who said what he meant. A life that felt grounded and purposeful and full of people whose names you would know. That future felt like solid ground. You had wanted solid ground for a long time. You thought about your future with Solomon. Conversations that went somewhere. A mind that matched yours and then exceeded it and pulled you further than you went alone. Travel. Challenge. The particular luxury of being understood by someone who is also extraordinary. That future felt like expansion. You had wanted expansion too. You thought about your future with Xavier. Tuesdays kept clear without explanation. A book with a worn spine. Empty galleries. Someone who asked what you saw and waited for a real answer. That future felt like freedom, not from anything. Toward something. You had wanted that most of all and said it the least. Your mother called you on a Thursday and asked how you were. You said fine. She said you don't sound fine. You said, "I have to make a choice and all 3 choices are good and I don't know how to choose between things that are all genuinely good." She was quiet. Then she said, "That is the best problem I have ever heard you have." You laughed until something loosened. You sat alone for a full Saturday with no phone. No Emma. No Sarah. No one. Just you in your apartment with the question. You made coffee. You looked out the window. You let all 3 of them exist in the room with you simultaneously. Callum and his directness. Solomon and his attention. Xavier and his Tuesday mornings. You sat with all of it until something became clearer than the rest. The thing that became clearer was not a feeling. It was a question you had not been asking. Not which one do you love. You could love all three in different ways. The real question was, which one do you become more yourself beside? Not a better version, not a more impressive version, more yourself. You thought about the gallery. You had said, I don't understand this painting, and I don't think I'm supposed to. And he had said perfect. Nobody had ever responded to your uncertainty with perfect before. People responded to your certainty, your competence, your ability to redirect the catering team in 2 minutes. Xavier had responded to your not knowing. That was different. That felt like something rare. You did not tell Emma your decision first. You did not tell Sarah. You sat with it for 2 more days to make sure it was yours and not a reaction and not a performance and not what you thought you were supposed to choose. When it still felt true, on the 3rd morning, you knew it was real. You called Callum first. You told him clearly and kindly. He said, I understand. You were honest and that matters. I hope it's everything you want. He meant it. You could tell he meant it. You respected him completely in that moment. Maybe more than any moment before. You called Solomon next. He listened without interrupting. When you finished, he said, I knew. You asked how. He said, because of the way you talked about the gallery, I filed it and I waited. You said, I'm sorry. He said, don't be. You made a true choice. Those are rare. He was right, they are. You called Xavier last. He picked up on the first ring. You said his name. He said yes. Just yes. Not hello, not hi, just yes, like he had been ready. You told him. He was quiet for 3 seconds. Then he said Tuesday. You said Tuesday. That was the whole conversation. It was enough. It was completely enough. Emma called you an hour later. She had not been told anything, but she sensed it. She said, did you decide? You said yes. She said, which one? You said Xavier. She was quiet for 4 seconds. Then she said, oh, yes. Of course. You asked what that meant. She said, it means I knew and I didn't know I knew until just now. That was Emma at her most Emma. You drove to work on Monday in your used Honda. You had a headset. You had a clipboard. Nothing about your exterior had changed. But something inside was settled in a way it had not been in a long time. You had been offered 3 extraordinary lives and you had chosen the one that felt most like yours. That was not luck. That was knowing yourself. Finally, fully yours.